program are solely those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Nevis Broadcasting Company Limited or its advertisers.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening to the listening public, the beautiful people here in Nevis, those in St. Kitts, those who are farther afield. Good evening to everyone, those in the Caribbean who listen religiously to this program every Wednesday from 8 to 10. Those in the United States of America, in Canada, in the United Kingdom, wherever you are this evening, good evening. It is a beautiful night here in Nevis, and I'm here with you, hopefully for the next 2 hours from 8 to 10. And my name is Mark Brantley. I'm the host of On the Mark. I'm also the Premier of the island of Nevis. I'm also the leader of the Concerned Citizens Movement. And I'm here every Wednesday from 8 to 10, hopefully with something of interest to you, and so that we can have a conversation. We have a very packed show tonight. But at the start of the show, at the very start, let me wish Vernice Weeks a happy birthday. I'm told, Vernice, you're celebrating a birthday. I want to say happy birthday to you, and I will tell you that I know you're all the way there in New York, but you have fans down here and family down here who are sending birthday greetings, and this one is coming straight to you in Brooklyn from Mercia Jones and her family in Nisbet Settlement. So Mercia Jones has asked me to say to Vernice, happy birthday. I call her Mom. So happy birthday, Mom. Enjoy your time right there in Brooklyn. I hope it's not too hot. I was there a few days ago in New York and it was scorching. So I'm hopeful that you have a wonderful birthday and that you continue to celebrate and to go from strength to strength. While I'm making these quick announcements, let me also say that another small business is opening in Nevis. They've asked me to tell you that Cocoa Breeze will officially open on Friday. That's this Friday at 7 a.m. They're located on the Island Main Road in Tamarind Bay near the Ubrenta Nursery. It's a yellow food truck. It will serve breakfast, lunch, and refreshing local slushes. They look forward to welcoming you. So Cocoa Breeze, a brand new business. Small business, you know, I promote and support all the small business in Nevis. Well, this one is called Cocoa Breeze, and they will officially open on Friday the 20th June at 7 a.m. They'll be serving breakfast and lunch. Look for a yellow food truck right next to your Brenta. That's on the Island Main Road as you're heading there to that Cliff Dwellers area. And so I hope you'll go out and support Cocoa Breeze. And then I think it is on Friday night as well that we have a Calypso tent. I believe that the Calypso tent is coming up this weekend. I will tell you exactly when as I get the information. I will share it with you. But I know that something is happening in terms of Calypso. And I am being corrected. I'm told it's tonight that we have a Calypso tent. And that Calypso tent is happening right there up in Westbury at Dewdrops. I think that is where it is. And I'm hopeful that people will again go out and support. So a lot is happening. And we are always grateful to report the news as we get it, report the events as we get it, and of course encourage our people to go out and to be a part of all that is going on the island of Nevis. We're gearing up for Culturama. And as I mentioned Culturama, I have in the studio with me this evening one of the veterans in the Calypso arena. He said to me today, can I come on the show and release? He and I have a habit of releasing on the show for a couple of years now. And I said to him, you know, once the song is ready, On the Mark is always available. I had to rearrange some things, but he knows when he calls, I listen and I answer. And so, the one and only Nutsy, I want to welcome you to On the Mark.
I don't change the thing to from Nutsy to the Buffalo, you know.
The Buffalo?
I know they don't call me the Nutsy,
no.
You know.
So you're singing as the Buffalo?
It's just the Buffalo Soldier they call me.
Buffalo Soldier?
Yeah, Buffalo Soldier.
So what are you singing as?
Eh?
What are you singing as this year? Nutsy or the Buffalo Soldier?
Well, it's the Buffalo Soldier. When people them, I got to work with the people. The people then say, boy, Buffalo Soldier.
Buffalo Soldier. All right.
The Buffalo. So
this Nutsy Buffalo Soldier has been in the Calypso arena. For how long now? How many years have you been singing?
Well, I've been there since 1988 is when I've really started, you know what I mean? And, you know what I mean? Been just a little bit, not too much. You know what I mean? You know, when you got on duties for the island, like you got to travel sometime to, you know what I mean, you know, represent the country, then you really have to go, you know. Last year I take a break, you know, and, you know what I mean, after, you know, singing for so long, I decided, man, I'm going to take a break, you know what I mean? Just to sift out things and check certain vibes, so I'm ready again to give. I give up and ready to go.
But you're back this year?
Yeah, I'm back this year.
All right. And this morning you told me that you had a tune that you wanted to release tonight. You could tell us a little bit about the song before we listen to it?
Yes, that's not a problem. Well, the title track name is Donald the Bum. You know, it's like when you look around right now, there are all these wars and, you know, I mean, these kind of stuff going on right now. It really hurting the people, and causing, you know what I mean, like, you know, cost of living very high to the sky and thing. Now I understand that, you know what I mean, current electricity bill gone up and all kind of thing. But like I said, this song will kind of help, you know what I mean, you know, let the people them know certain things still, cause while the cost of living going up, you know what I mean, it's because what I'm singing tonight in this song releasing, that is really a big part of it too, in terms of, you know what I mean, while driving up, you know what I mean, the cost of living and that kind of stuff.
Right.
You know, all these bombing and them kind of thing, you know, them thing curb prices.
We care the price also has a high cost in terms of human suffering, because a lot of people are dying and suffering.
Well, this song will talk about a lot of stuff that goes on.
Okay.
And the next thing again, you know what I mean, when I, you know what I mean, take the break, I decide, boy, watch ya. I watch a lot of people, you know what I mean, come from Nevis, they come king, and that's all right. But for me, whenever I come king in this country here, it's not about just representing, like coming king here in Nevis and stay here. I have to go to another show in like Anguilla. So for me, I realized I had to change a little bit, make songs that just in case everything goes well and I win the crown here, I can assure my people when I go to Anguilla, I go in there to represent with not just the normal kind of song, but something international.
Right, something with lyrics that people can relate to.
Yes, and that is what you're going to be hearing from me, you know what I mean, tonight, Donald the Bum.
Donald the Bum. We have it queued up. This is Nutsy. Say he call himself Buffalo Soldier now for Culturama.
Not me, no. The
people call him Buffalo Soldier for Culturama 2026. Let's hear Donald the Bum.
Whoa, yeah. Donald. People crying, people dying. Easy pressure. There's a lunatic in the White House. Psychopathic bomb is a maniac. The world is in turmoil because of these laws. Wherever there's only want to attack. Invade Venezuela and kidnap the leader. In Caribbean waters, leave footprints of murder. This demon possessed an arrogant man. Launch an attack to take the oil from me. Now the world all over, feeling the pressure, facing economic backlash. But the imam leader, vicious like a tiger, and all boys around monument and mash. America, hold you on. He's after death and destruction. No respect for serving nations. This maniac looking attention like a vicious beast, juggling world peace, moving all over, and this blood sucker. Satan the roving in full disguise, come to devour. The world has now come to realize this is Lucifer, the graduating down carnage and Iran, in a quest to destroy nuclear weapons. Now that we know you're a bomb, genocide is your intention. Racial you are nothing but a scum, with the blood to see vagabond. Now that we know you're a bomb, now that we know you're a bomb, crazy vagabond.
causing severe destruction to world trade by the closure of the Strait of Hormuz. Increasing oil prices now and the rampage. But small islands is dust to dust. Belligerent warmonger, Japanese dictator, this notorious piper, just hungry for power. This cycle it is a cover question. Choose his help to lead any nation. But while he slaughter and he plunder, innocent victim feel the impact. Obsessed with Obama, teenage as ever, like an onion chain running down a track. America, hold your bomb. He's after death and destruction. No respect for starving nations. His maniac looking attention. Like a vicious beast, threatening world peace, moving all over. And this black sucker, Satan a roving in full disguise, come to devour. The world has now come to realize this is Lucifer, then graduating down carnage and Iran, in a quest to destroy nuclear weapons. And all we know you're a bomb. Genocide is your intention. Racial you are nothing but a scum. Crazy blood to see vagabond. And all we know you're a bomb. And all we know you're a bomb. Crazy vagabond. Got no approval from his own Congress. With Israel just so he went and bombarded. Your close allies avoid you and your mess. Planning nuclear weapons in Iran's backyard. In Bahrain and Qatar, Oman and Arabia. Your retard behavior put the Gulf in danger. Commander-in-Chief of U.S. Armed Forces. Just that you had people in high places. This pathetic youngster, Poochie grabber, moving the earth like a pestilence. Perverted viper, you evil predator. One day you will face the consequence. America, hold your bomb. He's after death and destruction. No respect for starving nations. His maniac looking attention. Like a vicious beast, threatening world peace, moving all over. And this black sucker, Satan a roving in full disguise, come to devour. The world has now come to realize this is Lucifer, then graduating down carnage and Iran. In a quest to destroy nuclear weapons. And all we know you're a bomb. Genocide is your intention. Racial you are nothing but a scum. Crazy blood to see vagabond. And all we know you're a bomb. And all we know you're a bomb. Crazy vagabond. Nuclear weapons. It's oil and gas. That's what you're looking. Who the hell you think you're fooling? Donald?
That is man Nutsy for Culture Armor 52, Donald the Bum. What I like about this song, Nutsy, is that the bum is kind of pun because you're talking about war and dropping bombs.
Yes.
And,
Yes.
and then, so you have bomb B-O-M-B and you have bomb B-U-M bomb. You know? So this is rather interesting. But let me tell you, this song is hard hitting. You know, me and you gonna get banned from going to America now.
No man, don't worry about the bomb, man. I don't tell them easy pressure. However, though, just before we go on a little further, just let me, you know what I mean, give out of respect to, you know what I mean, some people who really work hard, you know what I mean.
Listen, I'm gonna say something now before you go forward. I hear some lyrics here and the music remind me of somebody from Brantley, you know.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I'll get into everything. You know what I mean. For, you know what I mean, I give respect to, you know what I mean, a lot of people, you know what I mean, who work from behind the scene. First of all, you know what I mean, when I decide, boy, I gonna come back, I tell myself, boy, I got a good brethren there in Brownhill, they're sitting down and a wealth of talent, you know what I mean, writing skills so good. And that's my brethren, you know what I mean. So I went to him, I didn't ask him, you know. I didn't ask my brethren King Bingy, you know. I tell him. We're buddy.
But listen, right? When the lyrics played, you know, I said, boy, that's the king. I can hear King Bingy. Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's like I said to King, boy, King, you know what I mean? It's been a while since you do anything, you know what I mean? And I don't want to get rusty, so I need you to write a song for me. And, you know what I mean? The good thing about it, he did a very good job, because once a man go do a song for me, I normally tell you what I want you to write about.
Right.
So I tell him, boy, I want a song, you know what I mean, and what going on, you know what I mean, up there with Donald the Bomb and them kind of thing. And up the other day I said to him, boy, King, I really give you a lot of respect, because you know something, you did a lot of justice to, you know what I mean, what I asked you to
idea,
do.
yeah.
You know what I mean, in terms of the idea. You did a very, very good job. So I'm happy to have a man like King Bingy, you know what I mean, who haven't sing for a lot of years, you know what I mean, in my corner as management. You understand? And me I could tell you, King is a hard manager. We are good friends, but he don't play around. And I love it. I love it. You know what I mean? Secondly, you know what I mean, I like to give a lot of respect to a man like Abo. You know what I mean? It's been a long time since I haven't really do something with Abo. But like I said, we had done some real good hits, you know what I mean? So he being over here in Nevis, you know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? I decided I'm going to work with Abo. I think Abo did a wonderful job, you know what I mean? You know, real good job, Abo. I really appreciate it and thank you. And I mean, I just want to give everybody who play a part on this track, you know what I mean? Courtney the guitarist, you know what I mean? Thank you again and look forward, you know what I mean, in the Culturama season to work along with you. Not forgetting people like Des, a sugar voice.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
sugar backup voice.
Yeah.
That I really appreciate you know what I mean, every time and any track that, you know what I mean, I do. So I just want to, you know what I mean, give all of you a lot of respect. You know what I mean? Like I said, this song is a song, you know. When I think about coming back, me ain't just thinking about coming back to singing Nevis to win Nevis crown, you know, brother. I thinking about whether if I got to win Nevis crown, I have to go to Angola and I don't want to make Nevis look like a puppy show. So I go make sure I put stuff there, make talk to Bingy and you know what I mean, we talk and Bingy really did the work and you know what I mean, set up things good because we're looking to go further this year after everything goes well, you know what I mean, and man could win this crown and go to Angola and win the crown for the very first time. And Nevis man will crown in Angola. Only one man from Nevis ever plays in that show, you know. I stand to be corrected, but I know what I'm saying. You understand? And that's King Bingy. And that is when he sing this song about Doggy.
SIDF money.
That's it. He plays second run up. I think, you know what I mean, they really cheat him and that, but the judges decision are final.
so, not see. You said the people say Buffalo Soldier. This song is hard. I mean, just it's hard. It is critical. It is what I think people look for Calypso to be. Now, personally, speaking for myself, I love Calypso. I'm not a musician, but when I listen to the Calypsos lately from Nevis, I find that all of them are soft. What I mean by that is, you know, man come at that about, you know, they keep the culture going, you know, revive the culture dying, you know, some 1, 2 people maybe sing something jumpy, but the kind of hard hitting, like confronting serious issues in the country. You know, I find the Calypsonians have been shying away from that, and over the years, you know, that's what you're really looking for Calypso to do. I mean, you remember the years when Calypso, man, sing politics, you know what I mean, whatever going on the island, you know. I think that those days are certainly still very important that people remember. You see, how you say Bingy, SIDF money, that was a big tune. Not only big tune, but a big issue.
Yes.
You understand? So when a calypsonian now turn that into music, right? And you know how it is. I'm a politician. Sometimes it's for, sometimes it's against, but that is the art form.
Yes.
You know, I don't sit down in front. I get plenty licks over the years, you know, but that is how the thing goes. So my point is that I really think that this year now is taking us back to the days when calypso was hard. You know what I mean? Calypso was hitting a topic. Whether you agree or you don't agree, the calypsonians have a story to tell. And I feel that to my mind has been missing somewhat over the years, the recent years, you know. So this here, that tune here, Donald the Bum, I think is going to create some controversy.
It's going to create some problem. I could tell you about
All right.
it.
Well, that is the man not say. He said the people say Buffalo Soldier. I wait to see what is on the paper on finals night. But with a song like this, I don't have any doubt that he should be going straight to the finals. So Buffalo, thanks for coming.
Thank you too for having me. You know what I mean? I'm on radio. You know what I mean? The powerhouse. You know what I mean? And you know, like I say, you know, I just wanted to shout this to the people so they can hear this, to let them know that I'm back.
Welcome back, my brother.
Yeah, thanks.
All right. Okay. That is not say the man who is singing for Culture Armor 52. He has released here tonight his song Donald the Bum. And play on words, it's going to be quite an interesting Culture Armor season because Nazis come out blazing. So it's going to be very, very interesting, and we're going to have to watch and see how the season goes. He's taking his leave now because I did say to him that we will try and accommodate him at the top of the show, but we know we have some ground to cover. So again, thanks to Nazi. I'm sure when the lines are open, callers are going to say what they think, but I think this song is a hard-hitting commentary on the state of matters now in the world. So let me, this 22 minutes after the hour based on my clock here at the studio, let me just get into a few things. I want to, first of all, say a huge thank you to Nivisions and Kititians, because some of them are also there, those in New York, New Jersey, that surrounding tri-state area. We had one person who I am told came all the way from Ohio to our meeting that was held just last week, Saturday evening, in the Bronx. We catered for 100 people because we thought we would have an intimate crowd and we would get that opportunity to engage face to face. That's why we were there. The delegation from Nevis comprised myself, the Honorable Spencer Brand, and we had with us Mr. Delvin Clark, who's now the head of our little diaspora unit that we've started. And part of the trip was really to inform our people living overseas, give them the opportunity to ask their questions and bring their ideas and suggestions, but also to introduce them to Mr. Clark, whom we are hopeful will be able to guide them and provide the support that they need, as many of them are looking to either relocate and come back to Nevis or are looking to invest in Nevis, building homes, starting businesses, and that is part and parcel of our effort to diversify and expand the Nevis economy. Many times over the years, our governments have looked to foreign investment almost exclusively. We are looking to foreign investment as a government, but we are also saying, let us look to local investors. And when we say local, not just Nivisions here in Nevis, and Kititians, of course, but also those who are living abroad. And so what you're seeing is a manifestation of those policy initiatives of my cabinet to encourage our people who are living in the diaspora, whether it's in the US, the USVI, Puerto Rico, BVI, Anguilla, St. Martin, wherever they happen to be. We're saying to you that we want you to invest, we want you to come home, we want you to be a part of what we're doing. And let me be clear that when I say come home, some people get a little antsy because people say, well, I have my life in America or I have my life in Canada. I do not necessarily mean physically coming home. If you can, great. This is your home. But I also mean investing. Used to be a time when our people, for example, had bank accounts here. They saved their money in Nevis. They bought stocks and shares and bonds here. They had treasury bills here. They built property here, especially now, as we said to the group in New York, that so many people are looking for places to rent. There's an explosion happening in Nevis of persons moving in, our brothers and sisters from neighboring Caribbean islands. And many of them are looking for apartments, they're looking for homes to rent. And we have a lot of properties here that belong to people overseas. Many of them are just shuttered. In fact, some look like they've almost been abandoned. And so we are trying to revitalize the economy. We're trying to get different strands to this economy working, and that is the basis on which we are encouraging our people. And so this diaspora meeting was the first in a series that we will have. I would make the commitment tonight that, God willing, we will be in the U.S. Virgin Islands soon. We'll be in St. Martin soon, and we will be in Canada and other parts of the U.S. as time and resources permit. We are coming to talk to you because we don't want anybody to be left out. For those who listen to this show on a Wednesday, you know that I have been very open about encouraging our people to invest, to come with their ideas, to come with their energy, to come with their training, to come with their money, and to help us. And I am not shy about saying that. This is not a government that is masquerading as if we have all the answers. We need our people on board. We are elected to lead, but we also need to listen. We need to hear from our people what solutions they propose. Here, unfortunately, we have many who offer criticism. But when you ask them, well, all right, if you don't want to go left, where do you suggest we go? They can't answer you. They could only keep telling you don't go left. So I want our people to try to change our thinking from not just criticizing and cussing, because as I keep saying, that's easy. I want us to now evolve to a place where we're offering solutions, we're offering options. We're saying to our government, we're saying, listen, this is what we propose can happen in Nevis. And let's look at that, as opposed to just the constant barrage of cussing and confusion, because that at the end of the day doesn't help us all. And so to me, that is a rather important development. And I want to go back to where I started by saying thank you from the bottom of my heart. My sister Helen, she was very involved in trying to make arrangements for me, for all of those who worked with her to make it happen. To Dion Pemberton, who helped us in terms of being our master of ceremonies for the evening. And of course to my brothers Spencer and Delvon, who we traveled together, spent time together, discussed what we were going to do. And I think from all reports the meeting went very well. The meeting ended up having many more people than 100 that we thought we would get. In fact, they had on 2 occasions to go and find extra chairs in the hall, and then we had people standing at the back and on the sides, etc. So we apologize. We didn't anticipate that there would be so many people, and the meeting was an excellent meeting. People came with their concerns, their suggestions. A few people came, and you know, we understand their politics. And so, but we think what was good is that we engage respectfully with each other, and that was to me what is important. As you know, I'm a great proponent of respectful dialogue. I don't mind when people disagree. I've said it time and time again. People disagreed with Jesus and he was perfect. So I expect that an imperfect person like me, people will disagree and disagree vehemently. My request always is that we not be disagreeable. We are in a vision. We should be able to discuss what is best for Nevis without cussing each other. And I keep asking our people. And so, in my opinion, the meeting went very well. I've had some tremendous feedback from those in attendance. People have been WhatsApping and texting and say they really enjoyed being there. And they enjoyed the ability that we had after to mix and mingle. Many pulled me aside, pulled Spencer aside, pulled Delvon aside. They had specific questions. I know Delvon handed out a lot of cards. Some have reached out to me to tell me that they will be in touch with him because they have plans. They want to build here. They're looking to buy a home. They want to start a small business. And so we think that we are at the cusp of something really good. And we are grateful again to New York. Thank you for coming out. And then that night was the night when the New York Knickerbockers, the New York Knicks as they're called, won the NBA series for the first time in 53 years. And so you could imagine the city of New York was alive. It was certainly something to behold. And so I say congratulations to the Knicks and to all Knicks fans out there. I hope that they continue to go from strength to strength. Years ago when I was a youngster, I had gone to Madison Square Garden a few times to see the Knicks, but of course they had not won anything for a very long time. So this was special, and we just happened to be there in the city at that time, and so it was a very special occasion. But again, my gratitude to all in New York who came out all of those who made the effort. We had a packed hall and we had an excellent conversation, and we're hopeful that that level of engagement and conversation will continue. People had their questions and we answered the questions, and we were able to engage with our people. Some came, and as I said, you know, they came with their predisposition, and nothing you said, none of the facts could shake them from that. But that is the nature of things. I'm not worried about that. I think that in the main, people came, the crowd was enthusiastic, and we had an excellent engagement. And again, I say thank you for that. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to take a few minutes to speak about a matter that is causing, understandably, some concern to the people of Nevis. And that has to do with the issue of fuel and the cost of electricity. Now, I have been on the show for the past several months now, talking about the difficulties that we are likely to face because of this war in Iran, because there's war in Ukraine, because there's conflict in terms of Venezuela, and all of these, Russia, Iran, Venezuela, are oil-producing nations. Now, I am not in any position to advise President Trump, to advise Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. I am in no position, as a leader of a very small island, to dictate in any way, shape, or form what happens by the big powers of the world. But I want our people to understand that when America takes a decision, when America with Israel takes a decision, that has consequences for us, even though we are thousands of miles away. And I kept saying to our people, we have to be mindful that that is now the reality, that when they sneeze, we catch the cold. Now, our electricity is still largely generated by diesel, fossil fuel. And we have all watched, if anybody has been bothering to pay attention, the cost of fuel keeps spiraling. It drops and it spirals again. And there has been tremendous volatility. But it's not just in the cost of fuel. We are also seeing volatility in the supply. And the reason for that is that production has, in some cases, dropped dramatically. And in addition to that, the Strait of Hormuz, which is a narrow strait through which a significant percentage of trade, particularly trade in petroleum products, trade in fertilizers, etc., comes through, the Strait of Hormuz has been closed, a casualty of this war in Iran. The Iranians have closed it, and in fact America has responded by blockading the straits. And so much needed supplies aren't getting through. The cost of shipping, the cost of insurance, all of that has gone up. Now, in that situation, we as the government in Nevis have been trying our very best to see what we can do to shield the people of Nevis from the impacts of this. Now, I want to tell you that since September of 2022, we have taken the position that we will have a cap on the fuel surcharge for commercial, that is the business community, of 65 cents. And we will remove the fuel surcharge entirely on our households. Let me say that again. Since 2022, we have had a cap on the fuel surcharge for our businesses of 65 cents, and we have removed it entirely from our households. Now, that does not mean it doesn't have to be paid. What it means is that the government has been subsidizing the fuel surcharge for the past 4 years. I asked today the Ministry of Finance to do the analysis, and they have said that in the past 4 years, your government has spent $28.9 million subsidizing electricity for every single household on the island of Nevis. Put differently, the government has taken on the burden so that you could have had electricity at a more affordable rate. The problem, ladies and gentlemen, that we've run into is that with the volatility now, that approach is no longer sustainable. And so the board at Nevlec, our electricity company, has taken the decision that they will reimpose the fuel surcharge on households and remove the cap on the fuel surcharge on businesses. It is a decision that will cause disruption. It will cause difficulty. In fact, on my way here tonight, a good friend and supporter of mine sent me a message and said, "You're going to lose the election over this." And I said to him, well, if that is the case, then that is the case. Because as the leader of Nevis, I can only be honest with the people of Nevis. This is not a crisis of my making. This did not result because we did something wrong. We have been managing the affairs of Nevis in an effective way. In fact, as I've indicated, for the last 4 years, we have not had any fuel surcharge whatsoever on the households in Nevis. That's a direct saving to every mother, father, every household, every family on Nevis. Has been saving over the past 4 years because the government has taken on that responsibility. We are now saying because of the circumstances that are completely outside our control, we have no choice now if NEVLEC is to be able to keep the lights on for all of us. Now I said to my friend and supporter tonight, I said, what would you suggest as the alternative? Because if NEVLEC cannot afford to buy fuel, if it cannot afford to buy diesel, then the island will go dark. Can we afford that Nevis goes dark? Or is it a time now when our people stand up and say, hey, let everybody chip in to help the situation, given that for the past 4 years, we were shielded from the impacts of this. And that is really where we are at this point. Is it a sacrifice? Yes. But we're asking for it to be a shared sacrifice, where, since we have enjoyed the benefits for all these years, we're now in a position where that benefit cannot be continued because it is creating tremendous hardship. It is wreaking havoc on NEVLEC's finances and the finances of the government. Every dollar spent on a subsidy for electricity means that there's a dollar less for education. There's a dollar less for healthcare. There's a dollar less for other critical services in the government. And so I just want to use tonight to explain to our people. And some are saying, oh, well, this. Somebody called me, I believe it was a week or two ago, and said, look at Anguilla. Anguilla is providing relief. And I'm saying kudos to the Anguillan government. But Anguilla was always paying a fuel surcharge. I want to make that point. The relief that is being provided now in Anguilla is partial relief. So for the past 4 years, when householders in Nevis were paying zero as a fuel surcharge, Anguilla was paying a fuel surcharge. What the government has now done, and tonight I saw a release from the government in Anguilla, saying that their fuel surcharge has gone to $1.04 per kilowatt hour. They are, however, subsidizing that. They said the additional 16 cents that has gone on, they will pay that. But the people of Anguilla are still paying some of the surcharge. Similarly here, the proper surcharge, if we are to recover fully, will be 79 cents per kilowatt hour. The board has discussed with us, and we have said that we will only charge at 69 cents per kilowatt hour, not the full charge. But again, asking our people to contribute some towards the fuel surcharge. Given, ladies and gentlemen, that we have held the line for 4 years, I am really asking our people to understand the situation. And I'm asking our people to do something beyond that. I'm asking you to conserve electricity. We have got accustomed to running the AC full blast day and night. We've got accustomed to having on the TV all night, even while we sleep. We have accustomed to a lot of things that burn electricity. I am saying to us now, please conserve electricity and help us control the cost, because the more you use is the more you're going to spend. So conserve electricity. In fact, NEVLEC has very helpfully put out a number of suggestions where we can conserve. The other thing we have said to NEVLEC, and NEVLEC has agreed, is that whatever we do now in terms of an increase, is intended to be a temporary measure. I want to emphasize that because we've said to NEVLEC, listen, once some normalcy returns, The war is ended, the Strait of Hormuz is reopened, and oil prices, we hope, come back to normal, then we will be in a position to revisit this. And so I'm here tonight to say, as the Premier of Nevis, that this is not intended to be a permanent arrangement. This is intended for us to partner, government and people, government and NEVLEC, to try our very best to get past this very difficult period. The government is no longer able to carry 100% of the cost of subsidizing electricity to householders in Nevis. And that's just the honest truth. And that is what I said to my friend tonight. Politicians sometimes come to you and they present a position to you to persuade you that things are other than they are. I am not one of those politicians. I have prided myself as a leader to be truthful and forthright with the people of Nevis. When it's good news, I'm at the head of the line cheering. And when it's bad news, I understand that the buck stops with me. And I come to you honestly and in a forthright way to tell you this is the position. If I had another solution, I would certainly give you that solution. But given the situation in which we find ourselves, given that these are external consequences over which we have no control, we have now to reassess what we do, and to do that in that interim period. Now, the war in Iran is over 3 months old. I want to make the point that we did not adjust a penny in the first month, or in the second month, or in the third month. It is now that the pressure has become unbearable that we have said we have to take some action. And so I want our people to look at this on balance. Yes, the new bills are going to create hardship and headache for people. Yes, if we could have avoided this, it would have been better that we do so. But it is not something within the control of the NIA. And as I look around the region, we are seeing a similar situation. This morning, on social media, a lady tried to chastise me and saying, oh, this increase is unreasonable. And somebody commented from Antigua and saying, Antigua, the increase is 84 cents per kilowatt hour. And then tonight, I got a video from St. Vincent where the head of the utility in St. Vincent was saying to the people of St. Vincent that the fuel surcharge in St. Vincent is likely to become even higher. In fact, he said to the people of St. Vincent, prepare themselves. When the interviewer said, are we talking about a small change? He said, I can't say that, because based on how things are looking, the month of July might be a record-breaking month. That's the point that he made to the people of St. Vincent. I am saying that simply to say that all around the region, we're grappling with this issue. And I feel that the record of my government in providing relief to the people of Nevis on this issue of fuel surcharge is a record that is unmatched. Because for the last 4 years, householders in Nevis paid zero in fuel surcharge. And businesses in Nevis had a cap of 65 cents. We held the line, ladies and gentlemen, for as long as we could. We're now in a position where we're saying we cannot hold the line any longer. And we're asking you now to step up and step in and help us to keep the lights on. Help us to help NEVLEC to pay for the diesel that it needs to ensure that the service to which we become accustomed continues. And along the way, we're urging you to take more responsibility for your own consumption by controlling the amount of electricity that you consume and not wasting it. Not wasting it. That is going to be critically important to help you at the household level control the amount that you're spending. We have committed, and let me repeat, that this is a temporary measure. We are hopeful that as prices stabilize, we will then be able to revisit this matter and come back to you. Because this government's position has always been to provide relief for as many as we can, for as long as we can. In this instance, we have provided relief for the past 4 years. But we have come to the end of the rope insofar as our financial capacity can manage. And that is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Now, that difficulty that we're now experiencing underscores the need for us to proceed with even greater urgency to develop other forms of generating power. Over the years, we've encouraged people to invest in solar. Many have done so. And the government has provided assistance in terms of duty-free access for solar panels. We have been talking about geothermal for a very long time. And I have come to you time and time again to explain the difficulties that we've had with that project. We have now, working with the federal government, got to a point which is the most advanced stage that we've ever got with that project, where we've signed a drilling contract with Icelandic Drilling, and they have advised, as of the last update I saw, that the drill rig should be here in August and we start drilling then. We're having some issues that we're trying to settle with families who are landowners in the area, but once those issues are settled, we are ready to proceed. We are making as much progress and as much effort with as much haste as we can. And I know when these things happen, ladies and gentlemen, the politics comes out. The opposition, no doubt, is going to point a finger at us and blame us. Well, we didn't start any war in Iran. Nevis doesn't produce any oil. And certainly we are not responsible for the increase in oil prices globally. We are not responsible for the closure of the Strait of Hormuz. We are trying to deal with the consequences of actions taken by others. I see already them are pointing fingers and saying, oh, we should have developed the geothermal project by now. And again, that is easy to say. But projects of this nature take time. They take money. And I want us to reflect that Dominica, which is the only example in the English-speaking Caribbean of a geothermal project, a 10-megawatt plant has just been commissioned. My research suggests that Dominica first started to talk about geothermal in the 1950s. They had their first legislation, I think it was 1973. And Dominica has been in this for a very long time. Nevis started talking about geothermal, as far as I'm aware, in 2004. In 2006, the CCM-led administration lost office to the NRP. And the NRP came in 2006. They abandoned the OAS-led project on geothermal that was happening, and they went into bed with West Indies Power. West Indies Power got control of the geothermal and the geothermal resource, and that continued. When we got back into office in 2013, you know what we met? We met litigation. Why? Because West Indies Power had not delivered, and the NRP administration had taken them to court to get out of the arrangement. This is after 7 years. And so we had first to fight that litigation when we got in 2013. That took us some time until we won, cleared away the underbrush, and we then were assisted by the American government through their Department of State and those responsible there for energy and energy security. And through that process, we had a firm called Deloitte, well-known accounting firm that was assigned to us, paid for by the U.S. government. And we went through what we call an RFP, request for proposals. We selected a company called NREI with the assistance of the Americans. And that company then was given the task of developing geothermal. They too were unsuccessful. But we didn't wait around for 7 years. We didn't have to go to court because we had learned the lessons from West Indies Power. We had certain out clauses in our agreement. And so when they did not deliver, we stepped out of that arrangement. And we had to go back to the drawing board, reevaluate. And that led us back to the Caribbean Development Bank. We understand that when you go to these institutions like the CDB, it takes time. The CDB has funds from various institutions and various governments around the world. Many of them have their own procurement rules. It takes time. In fact, I will say to you that the process just on the bidding for the drilling. This is production well drilling that we're doing. That process took us almost 2 years. Because the original documents went out, the bid failed. We had to redesign the entire process and go back out to the market before we got responsive bids that has now resulted in Icelandic Drilling being the successful bidder. Even now, we have not yet been able to draw down on funds because, again, for the drawdown, there are all these rules and requirements that we have to go to. The process takes time. So I think that when people talk about, oh, this should have happened already, it ignores the tremendous effort that has gone into this, the tremendous level of commitment that we've had, the days and nights of meetings and engagements, the hard work being put in by people of Nevlec. I could mention Albert Gordon, who used to be with us, who led this with such distinction. Mr. Naftali Erar, I think that's his surname, who has been so committed to this. So many have contributed so much to get us to this particular position that we are now. Mr. Ian Ward, he's now retired, but I have to mention him because he worked hard on this. Mr. Al Stapleton, who's now the general manager at Nevlec, and a whole team that they've had working on this issue over the years. I want to say kudos to the team at Nevlec. They have led this effort. And I also want to say that we could not have got to where we are now without the direct involvement of the Honorable Prime Minister, Dr. Terence Drew. I say that because it is the truth. Dr. Drew has come out, he has championed this, and because he has championed this, he has opened some doors. The CDB has now said, hey, the whole country is behind it, let's get involved. The Saudi Arabians have said, hey, the whole country is behind it, let's get involved. And while I'm commending Dr. Drew, let me also commend P.S. Wakely Daniel, because it is Wakely Daniel who flew to Riyadh in Saudi Arabia and presented the geothermal project to the Saudi Arabians. He was part of the delegation invited by Prime Minister Drew. And I was told that the meeting was handed over to him so he could make the presentation. The Saudis came back and said, yes, we will provide $20 million to that project. I want to thank the Green Climate Fund and my friend Mafalda Duarte. She came all the way from South Korea to Nevis because she says that this project, unlike any other that the Green Climate Fund is involved in, is entirely transformative. It's the only project of its kind in the world that will transform an entire country to be fossil fuel free for the generation of electricity and make us the greenest place on planet Earth. And so she's excited about partnering with us. So we have a lot of people to thank, but I want our people to understand that projects like this, they take time. They take negotiations. Even though we have signed the agreement with Icelandic Drilling has to now deploy a rig, and they're saying the first available is in August. So I want our people to understand that as a government, we are making every effort to realize geothermal. I said on numerous platform speeches that we as a government want to be the government to flick the switch on geothermal. Started with CCM in 2004. We passed the baton to the NRP in 2006. They did what they did up until 2013. And then we took the baton from them in 2013, and we're doing what we can to the point now where we have financing secured and we're moving to drilling. We hope by August with Icelandic Drilling. And so I want the people of Nevis and St. Kitts, because they're going to benefit as well. And Prime Minister Drew and I sat and said, let us develop this resource for the benefit of everybody. Not just for Nevis, but for everybody. Let the man in Kean and Tabernacle also get cheap energy, clean energy, just like the man in Cotton Ground and Barnesgut. Let us all benefit from this resource that is in Nevis and that we have been blessed by God to have on the island of Nevis. And so he expects to get some benefit for the people of St. Kitts, and rightly so. And I expect to get benefit for the people of Nevis, and rightly so. And that is how we formed that partnership, to say let us coalesce around and let us develop this. And I will tell you, the idea of geothermal energy for Nevis is a talking point around the world. Just today, somebody contacted me from Barbados to say that they're part of a discussion there. And Nevis keeps coming up in that discussion about geothermal. Tomorrow, God willing, I will be part of a panel as we discuss energy and energy strategy at the Marriott, a fireside chat they call it. For a few hours we will engage there. And so I come back to where I started on this particular issue. I am asking the people of Nevis to hold straight. I'm asking you to look at the realities. Some may become emotional. Some may say, oh, you are not doing a good job because we have to pay a bit more. I only ask the question rhetorically. Was I doing a good job when for 4 years you did not have to pay at all? Because that is the reality. Life has good times and it has times that are not so good. We have ups and we have downs. Well, we're going through a down at the moment. And we're asking the people of Nevis to stand up and be counted. Stand up and say, listen, all of us now have to help to bear the cost. With the understanding and the commitment from a government that has demonstrated, not talked about, but demonstrated its willingness to help, that in due course, once things stabilize, we'll be able to revisit this matter. Now the good news is that the major news agencies in the world are reporting that President Trump has indicated that he has come to some agreement with the Iranian government. We do not yet know what that arrangement is. At least I did not get that before I came to the show this evening. And I know the last I heard, they were still waiting, the media were waiting on the contents of this agreement. But if that agreement can end hostilities, and that agreement can lead to the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz, we expect to see some relief. Although the pundits and the experts are saying that that relief may still take some time, because it will take time to get back up to production at the capacity that it was before the war. One of the problems, of course, is that the US and Israel would have attacked installations in Iran that are critical to oil production, and the Iranians in response would have attacked installations in some of the Arab countries, the Gulf countries, that are also important for oil and fertilizer production. The consequence of that may well be that we will still have some time before the world recovers. I am making a commitment tonight to the people of Nevis that we will revisit this. But at this particular point, we need your help in order to allow us to be able to support NEVLEC, have NEVLEC buy fuel that it needs to generate electricity, and allow us to keep the lights on. And I end by urging the people of Nevis, please to be responsible with your consumption of electricity. Please to be responsible with your consumption of electricity. And do the things that NEVLEC is saying you should do in order to keep your consumption to the lowest possible level. All of us are going to have to experience this difficulty. All of us are going to be in this situation. But with the grace of God and with good management, good leadership, and leadership that understands and leadership that is committed to the people of Nevis, we anticipate that we'll get through this together. And so tonight I am taking responsibility because that is what I do. I am giving you the facts because the facts are what they are. And I'm saying to you to let us work together at this difficult period to get us over the hump and to get us to a point where hopefully once world affairs settle down, Understanding again that we have no control over that we'll be able to get back to some sense of normalcy. And with the commitment that if that happens, we will revisit this pricing structure to bring some relief to you. Let me also commit that we are going full speed ahead with geothermal so that we can wean ourselves for the rest of our lives and for the lives of the generations to come off fossil fuels forever. That will ensure that no matter what happens, where it happens, the people of Nevis and the people of St. Kitts are protected. And that is my sworn commitment in relation to this particular matter. When the lines open, and I'll do that now, and there are people out there who have ideas, who have suggestions and recommendations, I welcome them. But I assure you that we have looked and looked, we have assessed, we have analyzed, and we have come to a point where we genuinely cannot continue to carry the burden of the full fuel surcharge. Bear in mind that we're still carrying some, because the fuel surcharge at 79 cents, we are asking you to pay 69 cents. So we're still subsidizing a portion, but we understand that it is a far cry from the 100% subsidy that you were getting before. And so, when times were better, our people got the benefit. And now that we're going through this turbulence caused by external factors, we're asking you now to help us to stabilize matters and ensure that Nevlec stays open and that our lights stay on. Ladies and gentlemen, this is On the Mark. It is now at the 9 o'clock hour, and I'm going to open the lines and take your calls. I tend to turn the show over to you at this point, and so if you want to call, the numbers are 869-469-1616 and 869-469-1700. Those are the numbers to call, and I urge you to call in and be a part of this show this evening. This issue of electricity is obviously a hot topic, but if you are at our meeting in New York and you want to call in on that as well, we welcome you. Whoever wants to call, the lines are now open. Good evening, you're on the mark. Hello?
Boo.
You're on the air.
Boo.
Okay, well, I don't know who is booing who, but please, this is a serious show with serious people, and if you have something serious to say, we welcome you. If you're going to call in to say boo, this is not, what do you call it, Halloween? This is a serious matter, and we're discussing some serious issues. And we're just hopeful that the people of our island will act with some level of seriousness. I like to tell our people and remind our people that serious times demand serious attention from serious people. This is not a time for frivolity, caller. So let us open the lines and continue to try to take some calls. Good evening, you're on the mark.
Good evening, Miss Sherry.
Good evening to you, my dear.
Isaiah 65, verse 1 and 2.
Yes.
I am sought of them that ask not for me. I am found of them that sought me. Not I say, behold me unto a nation that was not called by my name. I have spread out my hands all the day unto a rebellious people, which walketh in a way that was not good, after their own thoughts. Have a good evening.
Thank you very much for that, as always. And we're taking your calls. 869-469-1616 and 1700. I want to thank this caller. She normally calls in first or close to first. She's been doing it for years. And she always has a scripture of her choosing. And I'm very grateful to her. We have two callers that tend to call in and to read a scripture of their choosing for us. And it reminds us that we must remain grounded and that in everything we do, we must give God thanks and rely on God for wisdom, grace, and mercy, understanding that as human beings we are fallible, we don't have all the answers, but with Him all things are possible. And so, caller, I want to thank you for that. Let's go back to the phones and continue to take your calls. Good evening, you're on mark.
Yes, good night, Honorable Brantley.
Good evening to you.
The problem with the gas, we can't do anything about it. All we have to do is understand what's going on. And if we read our Bibles, we will know what's going on. You don't even have to come and tell us, okay? Okay, I'm going to read Lamentation from Lamentation chapter 3 and I'm going to read verse 22 to 27. It is of the Lord's mercies that we are not consumed, because his compassions fail not. We are new every morning. Great is thy faithfulness. The Lord is my portion, saith my soul. Therefore will I hope in him. The Lord is good unto them that wait for him, to the soul that seeketh him. It is good that a man should both hope and quietly wait for the salvation of the Lord. It is good for a man that he bear the yoke in his youth. Here endeth the reading of the scripture. May the Lord add his richest blessing unto it. And Mr. Brantley, you do have a wonderful night.
Thank you, my friend, and thank you again for the scripture.
Okay.
Praise be to God. Thank you. Let's keep the calls coming. Let's go back to the phones. Good evening, caller. You're on the mark.
Good evening, Mr. Premier. Can you tell us how much the NIA owes NEVLEC? And just like the other bills, would the NIA bill be doubled? Do you have any idea how?
Well, the NIA consumes electricity just like you and every household and every business, and the NIA has to pay for it. I think the last debt that I saw for the NIA was well over $30 million, if I recall correctly. And it is a debt that we have been struggling with. It is, as you know, government is continuous, so it is something that we have been trying to deal with. We have had various mechanisms over the years to try and pay down that debt, including giving land to NEVLEC, for example, and giving land to NEVLEC so that NEVLEC could use that land to defray fuel costs, including paying fuel costs for NEVLEC, including things like duty concessions and all of those. So it's an ongoing process insofar as NEVLEC and the NIA is concerned. It's a constant process of debt and paying down that debt. What I could also say to your caller is that while I've appealed to the public and householders to control their consumption, I'm also making that same appeal internally to the government. A lot of government offices as well. People are leaving on the AC and going home for the weekend. People are leaving on lights in the buildings. People are doing a lot of things which are wasteful. And just a few days ago, someone informed me that they're also noticing that some of the street lights are on during the daytime. So it means that NEVLEC itself will have to do some work, and the NIA will have to do some work to conserve electricity as well. But our debt is there, and it is a debt that fluctuates, but it remains and has remained for many years.
Okay, Mr. Premier, what about the second part? And then again, is this did you say 30 million? 30 million what, a month?
No. I'm talking about
how much do you have to pay per month?
Oh, well, each month, it varies, but I think each month we have paid, it really varies on our own cash flow. I know that we were paying at one point $500,000 a month to NEVLEC. At times I know that we've paid more. I know there was one occasion when NEVLEC had some difficulties in terms of the cost of fuel, and we had to come up with, I think it was about $5-6 million at one time to assist them with fuel. So it varies, caller. It's a relationship. Of course, NEVLEC is wholly owned by the government, so it is an ongoing relationship. So it varies from time to time.
Is the NIA going to get the same effect like the other consumers?
But of course, that's what
is the bill going to be doubled like what we have seen that people are getting?
The bill for everybody is going to go up, including the government. And that's why I'm saying the same efforts to conserve energy that I'm suggesting for members of the public will also have to apply to the government.
And you have any idea, or can you tell us in some way how you intend to settle this with NEVLEC, seeing that we are in so much debt?
Well, we'll continue to engage with NEVLEC as we've always engaged. What has been happening, caller, is that part of the reason why we are in so much debt, as you say, is because the government has been paying the subsidy and the fuel surcharge for every household in Nevis. So if we had been paying that same amount of money to Nevlec, but paying it only for the government consumption, then we would have been in a much better place. But for the past 4 years, you, me, and everybody else on this island have been having a portion of the electricity bill paid for by the government. And that has exacerbated that cost. We are now saying that we are asking the people now to shoulder that cost. And not even shoulder 100% of it, because, as I said, the cost is 79 cents. We are asking them to shoulder 69 cents. So we're still going to carry a small portion. But we're saying we cannot continue the whole thing.
With all that being said, Mr. Premier, do you look back and think maybe we should have gone forward with the oil storage facility, and or maybe we should have pushed further with the geothermal? Because I remember you keep mentioning that we would have gotten geothermal up by 2018.
Well,
so when you look back, do you have any regret?
No regret, caller, because I've explained every step of the way what has happened in relation to geothermal. And I just went through it again at the top of the show, explaining what has happened. And insofar as an oil storage facility is concerned, it is not oil storage that is going to save us now, you know. It's the cost of oil. So even if you have storage, once the war continues in Iran, once instability continues in Venezuela, once war continues in relation to Russia, all of which are major oil producing nations, once Iran has spread that war to other countries in the Middle East, no matter how much storage you have, where you going to find the oil to put in the storage? You have to buy it. And that is the dilemma. So storage couldn't help you.
We would have been at a level until, because like you just mentioned earlier in your show, that once the streets open up, things are going to level up.
Yes, but we don't know when that is going to be.
Would we not have had the reserve to at least hold on to until things straighten out, which you just said earlier, and you said that it could very well be soon?
It could be soon, and it could be a very long time. I can't, and I have no control over that. But the oil storage was not intended to be storage for Nevis, caller. The oil storage was intended to be what they're doing now in places like Sabre and Statia, where they're storing oil on the island for onward transshipment to wherever it's going. I am saying to you that it is not the storage that is the issue, it is the cost of fuel and the volatility.
I beg to differ, but because in any instance, it doesn't matter. You're not going to move your oil to places and not hold or do something with it for yourself. I beg to differ, but...
Well, caller, you can beg to differ, but the reality is what it is. You're suggesting to me that if we had storage, then somehow we'd be insulated from what is going on. And I'm saying to you that is simply not practical and not accurate. The great United States of America is going through the same problem. You think they don't have storage? All around the world, prices are increasing because of this war. You think they don't have storage? The problem is not that you have a cistern, it's the cost of water to fill the cistern. And that is what I'm saying. In relation to that particular part of your question, I don't think that that would have made any difference to what we're experiencing right now.
If we could have, really should have, the old people would say. Anyway, have a good evening.
Okay, well, thank you very much. But as you say, if we could have, we should have, but some things we neither could have nor should have. And we will have to just leave that there. I get your point, but the point on the storage really, in my opinion, does not, it simply doesn't work the way that you're suggesting it will. Because if that were the answer, then all the countries in the world, I mean, the Philippines declared an oil emergency, an energy emergency several months ago as a result of this war. I think actually that the government and people of Nevis should be given some credit, because we have held the line. We have held the line, caller, for the last several months, even as this war raged. And oil prices were at some of the highest that we have seen. But we knew that eventually we would have a price to pay. And those chickens have come home to roost. Not our chickens, but chickens made elsewhere, created elsewhere, they've now come home. And so that is just the reality of things. And you and I can sit down, caller, and we could go back and we can say, we should have done this, we could have done that, why we didn't do this and why we didn't do that. But we are where we are because of decisions taken elsewhere. You know it, and I know it. And nothing that you can say or I can say will change that reality. And so all we now need to do is to press on with the things that we can do that are within our control. control how much electricity you use by exercising conservation practices, and we must find an alternative, and that alternative is geothermal. And that's where we are. Do we have other callers waiting? Yes, let's go back to the lines. Good evening, caller. You're on the mark. Hello?
Good evening, Mr. Brantley.
Yes, good evening.
You know, the Bible talk about we destroy, people destroy because of lack of knowledge.
Yes.
And the Bible, when we're supposed to go in the Bible and get every answer to our question. Some people don't read the Bible. Because the Bible also tells us, perilous time shall come. Hardship can come. And everything else can come. It's about the famine. So we don't start to face nothing yet. And he also said, he word, all what he said going to come to pass. So no matter, you're trying to do your best for us. But the thing is, you say something there and you're one thing with me because at night time me TV on from night till morning, and then we go work and come back. So now you're telling me now, and Nebet is telling me now, I got to walk on some to do, try to do something else who help me situation. You understand? So it's like this story in the Bible with the 2 women. One went down, pick up she clothes, and went down by the well. She washed she clothes. And when the other one said, oh, you tell her God help me. She said, God could help you, could help me too. She took up she clothes and she bound her. She went down by the river. And she said, like she go in her, she did a picnic. And when they come back up, spend the whole day. She said, how is God help you? And he not help me. The lady tell her, well, God help me because she helped herself and God gave her the strength to watch out all she clothes. But the fact is, we want to do so many things, and then now, for 4 years, the government help us. 4 years. So now you can able to go further. We should understand. And that's why you see, and that's why even at Mondo, I don't always. But Mr. Brantley, you know what the problem is? They always say, because when I try to talk to them about the toilet paper, when I try to talk to them about the soap, when I try to talk to them about the napkin, Mr. Brantley, you want me to get at Mondo. They say, are the government? I say, government, this government is us. It's us going to feel the burden. So you see, so in this thing, and see, we don't want to show what Trump going to do, because we Trump may not put nothing past Trump. You understand? But never said, up to this morning, they said, things what we are accustomed to do, if you don't open the fridge every minute, like the AC, some people they can't sleep without AC, and AC burn fuel. So me now I'm going to for okay, start the problem out. Along with the TV, so I got to look at my TV and find something else. Who get a light? You understand? And that will help me. So then what they're trying to tell us, oh, God bless us. But you want to tell God how much more to bless? We got to do our part, and God help us to the rest. What we got to understand, but every answer is in the word, Mr. Brantley. Every answer. But some of us don't take the time to read the Bible. We do want to get up our mind and read some we don't tell God, Father, thank me, you wake me up. Some people say they wake up, they say, they get our lesson. But Mr. Brantley, you're doing your best, you and your cabinet doing your best. Continue do your best, and God will do the rest. You have a blessed evening.
Thank you very much. Do your best, and God will do the rest. I really like that. Do your best, and God will do the rest. And, you know, that's why we're here. We're here to do our best. And, caller, you make a valid point because, you know, for 4 years, as I said, we carried the load. And our people were spared from the impact of fluctuations in fuel. And I don't think anybody, you know, nobody's going to say, well, yeah, that was a good thing. Now that you ask people to pay something, 1 month so far, and people say, oh, you're terrible and you're a bad government because you're asking us to do this. 4 years you got the benefit and nobody noticed, nobody paid attention to that. And I think that's just the nature of us as human beings. What I can say is that I will continue as the Premier of Nevis to do the best I can. I recognize that we're in some difficult times, and I can assure the people of Nevis that when it's good news, I'm going to come. When it's bad news, I'm going to come. This is not news that we have control over, but I'm going to come because it's important that you understand that you have leadership that you can trust and leadership that will be open and honest with you. Let's go back to the phones. Good evening, you're on the mark.
Yes, it's me again, Mr. Brantley.
Yes.
Kudos to that lady. She has said it all, you know. She has said it all. You understand? Thank you, lady, for sharing your wisdom. And let us know what's going on, who don't know. Okay? Good night. Lovely show, Mr. Brantley.
Thank you very much.
Okay, dear, you take
Okay,
care.
thank you. We're taking calls. 869-469-1616. Let's go straight back to the phones and say good evening, you're on the mark.
Good evening, Premier Brantley.
Good evening to you, my brother.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. Good to hear your voice.
Good to hear yours too. Premier Brantley, I noticed that the emphasis tonight is on electricity. But what I know, right, is that almost everything that we use, right, you will need oil and gas to produce them. Almost everything, not just electricity that we use in our home or anything like that. For example, I'm a builder. I have to drive my truck. I have to use my concrete mixer. And they use diesel, which is almost the same thing as oil and gas. I think they almost produce the same way. But the comb that you comb your hair with, it had to be produced. And almost every commodity that man uses on earth, oil and gas has to be involved in producing it. As a matter of fact, around 1970, I forget what time it was, the U.S. government was wise enough to see the importance of oil and gas, that they tied the United States dollar into that. You know about that, Brantley?
You mean it tied it into what?
To oil. The United States dollars is tied to oil. It used to be tied to gold. It's now tied to oil.
That's a petrodollar thing, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
A lot of people need to read and understand what is happening in the world. Now, some people, you know, they just open their mouth and talk before they read and try to learn some things. Some people like to jump up and talk about, oh, we are sovereign and we are independent. Brantley, you see, no, we are really interdependent.
We always have been.
We have always been interdependent. Look at what is happening all the way over in what they call the Middle East, which I call Africa anyway. But anyway. And it's affecting us here. So sometimes people call in on the radio and just say, oh, we are an independent country, and and we don't want nobody come in, and this and this and that. Premier Brantley, there needs to be a systematic program to teach the people that we are interdependent. There is no, I don't even know what country is independent. In that context that I'm speaking about, we depend on each other. And I'm saying this, the reason why I'm saying this is because in the last couple months, I've been hearing some kind of things. Oh, we don't want them. We're independent. We're sovereign. And sometimes I'm here and I'm shivering. Because I am now, 1 month from now, I'll be 68 years. And sometimes I like to sit down and reminisce and reflect. And sometimes I think, what resource we have in Nevis that can generate monies or revenue. We have the human resource, which is the most important.
Yes.
We have the sea, and the sun and the sun, but almost the whole world have that. There's only a few countries in the world that is what they call landlocked. I've been to Kenya, that sea and sun and sand too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm telling you. So sometimes, we need to read and listen to those who know before we just open our mouth and talk. Because we are interdependent. We are not independent in that context that some people are talking about. We need each other. And these islands are small islands. We don't have much. And sometimes I say, almost all the money that is in this country, it had to come from outside and come in here. So what people are saying? What are some of us saying? The monies that we have here, most of the monies we have here is people who brought it here. I was thinking again, right? In the last 20, 25 years in Nevis, I am sure a good 50% of the young people and even middle-aged people that were able to own their own home, they're working at Four Seasons.
Mm-hmm.
And I could speak because almost exclusively I used to work around Four Seasons. And I know the people them. So what are we saying? We need to think and stop talking from the top of our head and from emotions. And because we don't back this party or we back that party, we need to think carefully what we're saying. And when investment opportunity comes up, to weigh it properly, look at the pros and the cons and treat it accordingly. Don't just jump on one side or the other side. We need to start to think carefully what we are saying. For I am telling you, even the United States is dependent, even to right now, they're talking about something, I don't even know what they're talking about, but some rare earth. And they're saying that the most of it is in China, and the United States is dependent on China to get it.
Of course.
So if the great United States is interdependent, what about Nevis that is 36 square miles? Nevis is not even a village in some big islands. I wouldn't even say in country. But they're not even a village in some big islands.
But caller, this same war in Iran, that listening to the commentators over the months that this has been going on, and the closure of the Strait of Hormuz, which is a direct casualty of the war, people are saying that it is the economic hardship that is being caused, including in the Great America, that Trump them are now motivated to find peace. Because I was in New York on the weekend, and I see, you pass in the gas station, they have this thing where they have up the prices. And gas was $5 something a gallon. And my brother was saying to me that out in California, it is over $8 a gallon. People must understand.
They're saying that it may go up to $9 and $10 in California.
Exactly. So people need to understand that, as you put it, they seem to feel like Nevis is an island stand on its own and Nevis is not impacted. But even the country that started the war is now looking and hoping the war could end so that they could get back some normalcy there. And I'm not saying that as by way of excuse. That's the reality of the situation. So the point you're making is well made, because and the United States is a big oil producing nation itself,
Yeah, I know that.
Right? But
I know.
Nevertheless, look at the cost of fuel, the cost of electricity, the cost of everything in America as a consequence, right? So that is where we are now. And I think, as I said, that we have tried in Nevis to do our very best to hold the line. We have been holding the line, but you and I know that sometimes the strain becomes such that you have to ask for the people to make a contribution.
Well, you is the premier, but I was here saying to myself, I don't know why you have to labor it so much, because everybody should know. All of us should have known, and we know because everything else has gone up. I bought a piece of wood 2 months ago for $79. And I went and buy that same piece of wood yesterday, and it's $120.
Same thing?
The same wood. So it's, and the same people who would be talking all sorts of things, you still would hear them on the street saying every day that everything gone up because of this thing. So I don't see no need to be laboring. But anyway, you're in a different position to me because you're responsible for everybody in Nevis. But honestly, I don't see no need for too much laboring. This everybody should expect this. Everybody should expect this. But I was making why I wanted to make this point is to show how interdependent we are. Because I'm saying for the past possibly 3-4 months, people been talking as though, oh well, Nevis stand on its own, and we can just make our living here without interacting and doing business with other people, and that is not true.
Well, not only that, caller, but, and I know you're probably wrapping up, but I'll just add that the level of vitriol that I've seen some extend to people who want to come in and invest is also ridiculous. Right? Because you have some here who want to take divisions out of bread and can't get them biscuit. And that is my concern, because you're talking about people coming in, people investing. Why? To create jobs and create economic activity, just as Four Seasons and others have come. And the response that you're getting from some quarters is, going on a line about colonialism and slavery and these kinds of things. And I'm saying to people, you can't poison the well because you don't support the government to such an extent that if by some situation you get into government, you then can't attract any investment because people are saying, well, this island is hostile. And people need to understand sometimes, because like you said, some are only parroting what they hear. They're not thinking for themselves. They're not evaluating. I know, because I had a situation up to 2 years ago when we were doing the work there at the cultural complex, that a fella called in and lambasted me for spending money up there, only to find out the next day that the fella is one of the workmen on the complex.
But I was there. I used to just watch him and say, well, what is this? But I said, well, he deserves to be working in Navy still, so I just said nothing.
But it just tells you that people will sometimes speak even against their own self-interest in the name of politics. And so I just want our people to understand that we are, as you say, interdependent, and we have to be able and willing to work with the world.
We have to.
Right?
But especially, remember, St. Kitts Nevis, remember that we are the smallest country under the United Nations,
Yeah.
The smallest. I did not say we are the third from the top down, We are the smallest.
Well, we're smallest in the hemisphere. I think we have some in the Pacific, like Nauru.
Okay. All right.
And think 1 or 2. But we're the smallest in the hemisphere for sure.
Yeah, but I am saying, to me, if any certain opportunities come, what people need to do is to wait. You always know any investor that come, they're looking for themselves as well. Let's be honest. But you have to wait and see if it's going to be beneficial to you too.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm saying we do not have many different ways where we can generate revenue in these small islands here. As a matter of fact, you see me? Some people say, "Give away your funny," and they don't know exactly what is my motivation. Mm-hmm. But I try as much as possible to work for certain people. And some people say, "Oh, well, you're this," and then what I'm looking at, I rather sometimes to do that because that is money is coming into the country rather than just turning over. If you have $60,000 in your house and you are only turning over the same $60,000, you're not growing. Am I right?
You're 100% correct.
You're not growing. So I like to know when I work for somebody who come and bring some money into the country. That doesn't mean I wouldn't work for the locals too, but I like that because what I feel I am making a good contribution to my island in that regard. Anyway, I come off the radio. Good night.
Thanks a lot, brother. I think that you have shown a lot of light on this, and you always bring something of substance to the debate, and I'm grateful to you for that. The numbers are 869-469-1616 and 869-469-1700. Tonight, thus far, we've had Nutsy. He said the people are asking for him to be called Buffalo Soldier. He came with a song, Donald the Bum. Very interesting tune. I think it's going to create some controversy, and he opted to release here tonight for Culture Armor 52. I'm told there's a tent happening at the bar there, up at the restaurant, up at Westbury. So if you drive up Westbury at Dewdrops, there's something going on there. And so we hope that people are out and patronizing, because it's going to be very important that we all get and be a part of Culture Armor as well. Let's go back to the phones. We have 35 minutes left. Good evening, you're on the mark.
Good evening.
Yes, you're on the air.
Mr. Brantley, this week again, the donkey still in the pan, you know. The sister them can't sleep good, you know.
So
the donkey still in the pan over here, you know. I can't help people. They say I must take it out. These are the kind of worship that I need it.
All right. Oh boy, I'm sorry to hear that.
You tell me you're going to talk to them, you know. You come like you talk to them and they take your worship. The donkey still in the pan there.
Okay. All right, thank you for that.
These things can't be going on underneath this, and people just keep them out shut, you know, Mr. Brantley. Health is the most important thing in life, yeah.
All right, my brother.
And these people who are going walking in there can't take a answer to give a question. They say, I must take it out.
Okay, I hear you. Okay, thanks. All right, I'm really hopeful that we could get that matter resolved. You called me last week, and I really thought the matter had been resolved. And so let's see if we can get that resolved. Okay? I'm sorry about that call. I do apologize. Let's go back to the phones. Good evening, caller. You're on the mark. Hello? Caller, hello?
Hey, Mark.
Yes, you're on the air.
What's up with you?
Caller, you have all kind of racket. I can't hear you. Okay. Caller, please try and call back in. We want to talk to you, but obviously you had a lot going on, so we couldn't hear you properly. The numbers again are 869-469-1616 and 869-469-1700. Those are the numbers to call and to be a part of the show this evening. Let's go back to the phones. Good evening, caller. You're on the mark. Hello?
Yeah, hello.
You're on the air.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Caller, if you're going to call in, we need to have a conversation. The only way we can do that is for you to stay on the phone and listen to the phone. Now listen to your computer or your radio, please, so that we could talk, we could hear what you have to say. Otherwise, we can't hear what you have to say, okay? Thank you. Let's go back to the phones. Good evening, you're on the mark.
Good evening, Honorable.
Good evening, my brother.
How are you doing tonight, my brother?
I'm good, I'm good. I'm here trying to bat. You know, the wicket a little bouncy. What's happening?
Don't let the ball bounce and hit your head. But I like what you're saying tonight, you know. And a lot of people don't understand what happened to the outside world that happened to us. They don't understand that, you know. They was laughing all the time when things was going on, but they don't realize what taking place in the States has hurt a lot of us. But I will tell you this, that what will happen now, the other side of politics will be using this for political gain.
Yeah, well, that's expected.
Okay. And they don't realize what the man said and the lady said early on, that all of us don't feel what's going on. In the States, some of the people I'm saying that they have to sell the cars. Some of them have more than one car. And because of the gas, right now the gas, they have to sell one of the cars. And you try to tell some of them about the situation, about the bill. But again, you only could do what you have to do. That's for me. We all feel the pinch on here because $20 used to pull your car, which you can't pull it in. $20 even can't get half an hour. Now even to the taxi guy them all about so have to pay up them price. Because going back and forth, they can't afford to pay for gas. And it's not happening, Nevis alone, happening all over the globe. But you know what they're going to do is use this thing with campaign this and deal with people which is not listening. You have the show. How much of them call in here and try to speak to you and understand what's going on?
Well, but caller, you see, I clearly don't, I understand politics and I understand the politics, but what I would want to hear from the opposition, if you say they're going to make politics out of this, is what would be the alternative? Because again, criticizing is the easy part. What would be the solution? Can they stop the global increase and volatility in oil prices? The answer is no. Nevis is not producing oil. We have no control over that. We have to import just like everybody else has to import. So what then would be the answer? Can you continue to carry the full load as government of the fuel subsidy for everybody? And the answer is no, because at the end of the day, all that is doing is the debt for government keeps going higher and higher. And other critical services are going to get left behind. The same people are then going to come and tell you, you need to do more at the hospital, you need to do more at the schools, you need to build more roads. You understand? Not appreciating that, listen, every dollar you take from the pie to do one thing is a dollar less to do something else. That is just the reality of government. And so I don't mind that people want to engage in a discussion. My question is, what would you have done? I hear some say, oh, geothermal. Remember, I tell you, where we met geothermal in 2013 when we got back into office, we met it in the court. We met litigation. That's what we had to deal with. That was the inheritance from the previous government. So when I hear them now say, oh, geothermal, that's the answer, and you should have done this and you should have done that, you had your turn at bat. And when you were in the wicket, you end up in court with the developers that we now had to go and fix before we could start again. So all I'm saying is, we just need as Nevisians to look at this, recognize that this is just the reality that we're confronted with. And I have said, one thing stabilized, we could look at it again. In the interim, I am appealing to people to conserve. Conserve electricity. You're out there, conserve your gas. Sometimes you get in the car, you're going just down the road, you're going and drive. Walk. It's actually better for you. You know? Take a little exercise. Do some of these things that will help you at the end of the day control how much you spend. And I think that is what we have to encourage each other to do. So I expect the critics are going to come, and I expect the complaints are going to come. I just heard one lady calling in and saying, oh, if you had done this and if you had done that, if we had fuel storage. These are the kinds of arguments that will be deployed. But the question is, do those arguments stand up to scrutiny? The bottom line is, we are subject to what is going on in the world. And I feel, as I said, quite proud that we have held the line for so long. It's 4 years now, nobody in Nevis has paid a fuel surcharge. 4 years. Tell me where else in the Caribbean that has happened. So we have tried our very best. And now that we cannot continue to carry this strain, we're asking our people, well, carry some of this strain with us.
And they feel like because the Nevis independent, that they don't need people. All of us feel the pinch as much as Nevis independent. What happened out there? Nevis gonna feel it the same way too. So when they talk about they could stand up, everybody just feed up for each other. I they can't see every one of them to speak about independent. Nevis depend on United States depend on all of us, depend on each other. So we're happy now. They deal with even to the BBI the same way. All of you all feel the pinch. And which we say again, United States, people themselves feeling the pinch. Seeing Nevis alone, all over the world feeling the pinch. But I'm going to hang up and let somebody else call in. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much for that. Okay, we have 15 minutes left, and we're going to try to take as many calls as we can. If you're out there and you want to speak to us, again, the numbers are 869-469-1616 and 1700. Those are the numbers to call. Vernus Weeks, if you're listening, we said happy birthday to you at the top of the show. We're sending it again, just in case you didn't hear us. And that's coming from Mercia Jones and our entire family. And, of course, it's coming from me and all of us here at Von Radio. The whole of Nevis sending birthday greetings to you, my dear. And we wish you have a wonderful, wonderful birthday. Let's go back to the phones. Good evening. You're on the mark.
Good evening, sir. How are you doing?
Yes, good evening to you. I'm fine. Thank you.
I'm a few things different from what the topic is. First of all, I want to congratulate the Navy. I think it's for really moving forward with your turmoil as Dominica is doing, and I hope that they'll get you in doing that. And the second thing, with the drought in the Caribbean, I want to urge people, when you buy a bottle of water, fill it and from the pipe and throw it somewhere in your house. So when you use the one you got that one to wash or cook or do something else. And the next one is saying congratulations to Gardner Sports on the 40th anniversary of winning the first division in 1986. And I want to say congratulations to the Brantley High School football team of 1980.
Caller, your voice dropped there. You say congratulations to the Basti what?
The high school football team of 1983 who won the third division at the time. And then I want to call on the 4-H and the Rotary Club of St. Kitts and Nevis on the 50th anniversary of the passing of my father on the tragic boat race on August Monday 1976. It's just sad that 50 years is going to come now on the 2nd of August, and there's not even a plaque or any kind of recognition of these men and what they sacrificed us. And the next thing I want to give thanks to the government of St. Kitts on the 20th year of pilgrimage to Buckley, which I started in 2007. We're glad to see that it will be turned into a holiday next year, and I'm glad to see that they have rewarded this long sacrifice. Is stood vacant for 72 years until we went and put a review. I want to salute Google, who print the first board for me to put up there. Salute Kemi and her sister in the store there down on St. Francis Gilbert for providing me with wheat for more than one time, free of cost. I want to big up the family of Washington Archibald and support Beninis who gave moral support during these years, early years, and to Naya Bingi Tiakosiada, and to my mother who gave me the story as a little child that is important for us as children, as parents, to talk to the children about the history. Because Marcus Garvey is a people without the history and the knowledge and the culture, like a tree without root, and therefore it's important for us to do those things. And so I want to congratulate the government. I hope next year I'd like them to invite one of these groups here from Guadeloupe, one named Akio. Akio is a group that sing and drum and chant, and they'll be able to sing and drum and chant for almost every Saturday here from 12 to 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the Point of Peace. So that's how long you have African drumming. Not a short stint, but a long stint of African drumming. So I just want to tell those who planning the celebration for next year and the first anniversary of a holiday that we want a monument. We see it in 1967. The same event happened here in Petit Canal in Guadeloupe, and there's already a monument. And 67 is 32 years after 1935. If they could still recognize the sacrifice back then, 6 people were killed. We have to do that. Why we so ungrateful for all these years? We need to put forward. Somebody is controlling us. And the last thing I want to deal with is the foreign interference in the political affairs of St. Kitts and Nevis. You know, there's too much foreign interference. When I escaped St. Kitts in 2015, after they tried to kill me, they invited me up to Kittition Hill to do some kind of lecture in the night after 9. The Department of Culture have a book which we used to record cell phone calls in. That book will have the number that was calling me, who said they was from Kittition Hill, inviting me up to Kittition Hill in the night after 9 to do a thing with some foreign guests. They say that is foreign intervening in the domestic affairs, and that I don't have enemies local, but they wanted to silence me. Since I have escaped here, I went to Amnesty International and presented 12 or 13 cases that the police has done wrong, and nobody want to do nothing about it. And that has turned my life down. But I'm still fighting because the French and the American use all the power to try to make my life a hell. I live here for 10 years and I have not given a social security card. 10 years. And when every time I go on and try to apply, it's discrimination. Whether they want to silence me, I live here for 10 years and they block the whole health system for me. And I'm married to a Guadeloupe Union. I live here for 10 years and qualify family for 4 years and not 1 centime. And when you go, I with my green card, you know. I mean, tell me what is my problem? I tell them to carry me to the court. No, they don't want to carry me to court because they know the court will rule against them. And so the foreign interference in the field think it. When I went to Amnesty International, they didn't mention no France or an American name, but they told them come by now, and they do all kind of evil. If you want to tell you the amount of time they try to kill me since I'm here, to try and silence me from speaking out against the wickedness, it hurts head. Like give thanks and say heal up to everybody. Give thanks, man.
All right, thank you very much. And caller, you've been a contributor to the show over the years, and I certainly regret to hear some of the things that you say you've gone through. I'm really hopeful that you can get matters sorted out. Let's go back to the phones. Good evening, you're on the mark.
Yeah, good evening.
Hello? Hello?
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening to you.
Father's Day when it come Gospel Life.
Thank you, my friend.
On all, everybody.
Thank you so
much. Have a good night. Come 1 minute on the phone.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it. Let's stick with the telephones. Good evening, you're on the air.
Hey, good night.
Good night to you.
Yeah, ma.
You have a lot of noise in the background. You could turn down the TV or the radio.
Okay. Yeah, let me turn it down. Hold on.
Right.
But I'm saying though, you got 4 donkeys that over here, Brownhill here.
4 what?
Donkey.
Uh-huh.
I want to send somebody to move them, please. Cause I can't get out my driveway.
Okay. And Brownhill is a big place, so we're in Brownhill.
Up past Sandy coming up in the corner.
Up Sandy's up the hill?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We will.
And you got some patrol over here too. And water again. And current gone in Cherry Garden on and off.
Nevlek put out a notice that they're doing some work in Cherry Gardens. The water situation, that was due to some work that was being done. The water department also had put out a notice because I didn't have any water up my side either.
Okay, me try I can't sleep on place hot.
All right.
And what about the youth who want to work? I got a lot of young men around here want to work here.
Well, there's a lot of work in Nevis. Contractors say they can't find people to employ.
But there are people and people check them.
Well, I don't understand because that's what they're telling me. Right? They say they can't find workers.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we continue to take your calls at 869-469-1616 and 1700. Let's go back to the phones. We have about 7 minutes left. Good evening, caller. You're on the mark.
Good night, Mark.
Yes, good night.
Did you talk about project?
Mm-hmm.
Who will be in charge? The federal government or the NIA?
NIA. It's a project in Nevis. What we have said and have repeatedly said is that we are developing the project in partnership with the federal government because the resource belongs to the people of Nevis. It is in the island of Nevis, but we could not access financing without the involvement of the federal government through the CDB, through the IDB, through the Saudi government, and through the Green Climate Fund. So Prime Minister Drew and I have decided, as we said in the resolution that was passed in the National Assembly, that we will develop the resource together for the benefit of the entire federation. But right now, NEVLEC is the entity that is the lead. NEVLEC, for example, would be the company that had signed the drilling agreement with Icelandic Drilling, because NEVLEC has been the focal point for this project all along.
Okay, so the NIA is fully in charge.
Yes, but as I said, we're working with the federal government.
Yeah, understand.
Yeah. So
okay, man. Take care.
Okay. Thank you very much for that. We have 5 minutes left, and we can take a few calls for sure. 869-469-1616 and 869-469-1700. So we're asking, if you're out there and you want to call, please do. Now, let me just, while I wait and see if the phone rings again, to say, because I had a notice here of a new business that's opening, and that business is called Cocoa Breeze, and they will officially open on this Friday at 7 a.m. They're located on the Island Main Road in Tamarind Bay, near your Brenta Nursery. That's just, you know, where the sea bridge is as you go along the Island Main Road just above. It's a yellow food truck. Will serve breakfast, lunch, and refreshing local slushes. We look forward to welcoming everyone. So a new business alert, Cocoa Breeze, officially open on Friday, 20 June at 7 a.m. And let me just say, because somebody called in and spoke about the Father's Day, that the Concerned Citizens Movement is having a grand Father's Day event. It will be at the Villa Grounds. It is happening this Sunday, forgive me. And we are having a really, really great time there for our fathers. We had a beautiful Mother's Day event at the MJR Park. The MJR Park is not available. It's booked out. So we're having the Father's Day event at the Villa Grounds. And so we're asking the dads to come out and be treated. We treated the moms. They came out. They had a wonderful time. This time around, it's for the dads to come out and be treated. And as usual, I'm going to be on the grill. And, you know, come and get some grilled chicken, some, I don't know, grilled pork, grilled fish. We're going to have a lot of things there. And come and have a drink with us and enjoy yourself on your Father's Day. So all the fathers in Nevis, you're invited to come out to the Villa Grounds this Sunday, Father's Day, and be with us and enjoy yourselves and be celebrated. We sometimes hear the argument that everybody goes all out for the moms and then the fathers are ignored. Well, that is not the case. For the Concerned Citizens Movement, we care about everybody. And so we celebrated the moms. We're going to celebrate the dads this Sunday at the Villa Grounds right there in Charlestown. And so we encourage one and all to come out. You know, come and spend some time with us. Come and enjoy some food, some drink, and some music. And let us enjoy our Father's Day together. So I'm spending my Father's Day with you. And I'm asking you to come and spend your Father's Day with me and with the Concerned Citizens Movement team. We continue to put our people first in everything we say and do. We continue to work with our people. We understand it is not always easy, but that is the ethos of this party, and that is what we do. And so we invite you to come. And we want to thank, let me go on record to thank so many who have contributed and continue to contribute to allow us to have these events. We have the members of the party, obviously they contribute. But we also have individuals who, you know, would cook a dish or contribute something. And so we really hope to have a good time. But I'm going to be wearing my apron, blue apron, of course. And I'm going to be definitely decked out like a chef and cooking on the grill. So I'm looking forward to that and to us enjoying ourselves. So all the dads out there, please come out on Sunday at the Villa Grounds. We will be there probably starting around midday or so. We'll be grilling, we'll be cooking, we'll be eating, drinking, playing games. We'll be having a good time. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers in Nevis. Come on out and enjoy yourselves with the Concerned Citizens Movement. Ladies and gentlemen, that's our show. The banner struck up. It means we have to go. I want to thank everyone who called. I thought the subjects discussed tonight were rather interesting. This show is rebroadcast tomorrow at 1 p.m. right here on VON, the voice of Nevis, the Eastern Caribbean's only powerhouse. We look forward to being here again with you next week, Wednesday, God willing. We thank Nutsi, who came and released his song, Donald the Bum. And that song, I suspect, is going to create some controversy in the Culturama this year. Thank you, good night, and God bless you.
Views and opinions expressed on the preceding program were solely those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Nevis Broadcasting Company Limited or its advertisers.
With all the power from the tower, this is the powerhouse of the Eastern Caribbean, VON Radio.